So it's pretty cold out again. I've been upstate all week and it went from being beautiful spring-like weather to now it's like 15 degrees out right now. I'm in the garage. Monday morning I woke up and Willie had fallen off the bridge. Many people told me I should put rails up, but Willie went up on the bridge at about 7 in the morning and the ice, all four wheels, he just spun and fell off the bridge. Thank God he did not get hurt. He just got his feet wet climbing out of the quad. We were able to jack it up. I got this cool ratchet strap, jacks logs, and I was able to use it to flip the quad upright. Could have been a lot worse. Thank God. We had an icy patch here on the bridge. And some fans said we should put rails on it. Now we're going to put rails on it. So you guys are right. No casualties. No flats. Nobody get hurt. My Core 77 video this week is this bowl that I made, obviously inspired by a lot of what's been going on in interior design and branches, and I explain a couple of other artists that inspired the bowl in the video. Check it out on Core 77. Working on this new lathe I got, Shop Fox lathe. I broke something, but go to the video, you'll see. And by the way, I was able to fix it. The reason I do these vlogs is because there are stretches of time that I don't always get to make videos. I mean, in the past, I would just not make a video for 3 weeks at a time, and then there would be spurts where I made a lot. So this is going to be my next big video on my channel. It's this knife. I'm grinding a knife and a cane. I successfully ground another wavy blade or cursed blade, however you say it. I personally like this style. It's just a personal preference, and it's complicated, and I like taking on a complicated blade like this because if I get successful at doing a complicated blade like this, a simple straight one will be a lot easier for me. So I like the challenge of these cursed blades. So this video hopefully will be out this week. I have a lot going on with a new sign job that I'm doing, but these vlogs from time to time are the only thing I'm able to get out week to week, and that's why I'm putting up some old repeats, videos that have never appeared on my channel, although many of you have seen them. If I post a video and I write old video, it's a video that's never been posted to this channel, but it's old in the way that if you're a longtime fan, you've seen it somewhere in the YouTube sphere. In time, all videos will navigate back to this channel. So that's why I'll always say old video. That means if you may have seen it or it seems familiar, then you don't have to watch it. This vlog is just to keep current so you know what I'm up to instead of me just disappearing for 3 weeks and then occasionally you see a video here, a video there, Rockler, Core, Make, whatever. So this week I'm working on a sign for the Bullet Bourbon Distillery in Louisville, Kentucky. I will be driving there this week, so the next vlog is going to include a lot of the Louisville trip. I got off to a difficult start with this sign because the guy I go to get aged wood from, he was closed. So back in my bet, I went over to the other sawmill which sells fresh cut wood. I just assumed I'd figure out how to age the wood. I left them a message and they called me the next day and said, hey, come on over. I was like, you know what, I bought wood, but let me come see what you got. And of course, they had a big bundle of aged wood. They cut it and they leave it out in the open air so it turns gray. And I like that and they know that, so they always have a little stash over there. The first pile of brand new wood from one sawmill was hemlock, and then Benson's had the aged stuff. So I like the aged stuff. This is going to be a big wall in the Bullet Distillery. It's going to be this wood, and on top of it is going to be plasma cut steel letters. Back in my bet, I went to Albany Steel and I bought a bunch of steel that I called in. So they cut it up so I could put it on my plasma table. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to get my plasma table up and running. Software problems, hardware problems, but I'm going to get it. In due time, I'll have the table up and running. But I still needed to get this job done. So I went back to Albany Steel. I gave them a DXF file that I was going to use. I redesigned it since their machine is giant. I was able to design it so it's all on one big 4x8 sheet of 1/2 inch. In this case, since I knew they were going to cut it with their tremendous machine, I went with 1/2 inch. I was going to originally cut 3/8. So now I have these letters in substantial 3/8 steel. I'm going to put pegs on the back, rust them, and then by next week you'll be able to see this sign that I'm going to install on the wall at the new Bullet Bourbon Distillery in Kentucky. Look for that job. The reason I bring this up is because in any job, the most important thing is to get it done. I can't call them and say my plasma table doesn't work. I have to figure out an alternative. I told them I was going to give them steel letters. It turned out I had to go and get it done by a subcontractor that had much bigger capabilities than me, so I went with a thicker steel. So I think it's going to be overall a better result. When you get into a gig like this, the most important thing is the deadline and getting results. So that's why I back my bet with the wood, I back my bet with the steel, and I think it's going to look good.
Yeah, hi guys, I'm Max, I'm from Germany, and I'm a product design engineer. And I hope we can do something great with Jimmy.
You're helping me out with a couple of my products that we're going to make on the CNC machine. I want to introduce you to Max Maker. Max is somebody I met in the comments section on some of my videos, and I noticed he keeps popping up in a lot of the comment section. And Max is a product designer. We talked through email, and he said, is there anything I can help you with? And in fact, I said, why don't you help me out with this knife I've been wanting to make for so many years? And so he's got this file going already. We're going to try and experiment with cutting it out on the Tormac. He's got one, I got one, so he's going to cut a version. I'm going to cut a version. So this is a little bit of product development you're seeing here in the flesh, and you see the product, how I made my hand model, and then I sent it to him, and Max was able to really do this beautiful model. Incredible. Like, he did it like the day after we spoke, and now we're refining it. So Max, thank you very much. Building update on the garage. I am still forging ahead. It is not simple because there's a lot of small town red tape to go through and a lot of zoning requirements that I need to meet. But to hedge my bet, I rented this 5,000 square foot space right near my house, and that is a done deal. That is going to be my warehouse to keep all my stuff while I'm in transition. It's cheap enough that I can keep it probably while I have everything else. So I went from having no space, I'm going to have a surplus of space. So like I said, the gas station, if it doesn't work out, I can immediately start putting all my equipment into this space. I could work in this garage here. There's definitely a lot of... I woke up the rooster. It's 3 in the morning and he just woke up. He hears me talking. But I went from having no space, I'm going to have a surplus of space. So I'm happy about that. Something I've never had before, space. In school last week, a student challenged me. We were working with styrofoam, and I had this chunk of styrofoam, and I said, what can I do with this chunk of styrofoam? And someone said, make a ball out of it. So I had a couple of ideas that I had seen on YouTube of how balls were made out of wood, and so I quickly used those same techniques, and I fashioned this ball very quickly. This is like 5 minutes, but shrunken down fast. You guys all know Willie. You've seen him in my videos. I consider Willie now a friend for at least 16, 17 years. I've known Willie all this time, and he has the most incredible New York stories. And every time he tells a story, I say, damn, you need to start telling these on camera. This is the very first of what I hope will be a series of installments of Willie's New York stories.
They killed a cop on 5th Street, and Ave B. They were rounding up everybody from the neighborhood, everybody. I was dealing on 9th Street and having a D. So I had finished for the day, about 3 o'clock. I'm walking down, going up 2nd towards, I was living on Orchard Street in Delancey. My 22, I put it in a paper bag, and I put a donut on top of it. And the taxi narcos, they called me. They put me in the car, they searched me, the donut, being that the donut, you know, touches the paper, the sugar, and it greases the bag. So I said, well, he says, what's that? I said, it's a donut. I walked into the 7th precinct. They put me in the bullpen. I got the gun and everything. And the guys that are in there's about 4 guys in the pen. So I told them the story, you know, I said, look, I got a gun here. Everybody moved away from me. I had the whole bench to myself. So that was one incident. Because they were looking for some guy, but apparently a couple of days later they caught him. I ran into him, I think, up in Attica. And my first bit, state bit.
But what was the end of the story with the donut?
No, because of the bag, and I'd be swinging the bag like this. I'd be right between my legs, sitting on the chair, and the cop and the detective interrogating me. Do you know who did this? Do you know this? Do you know that? Where were you? With all the time, all kinds of questions. And where do you live? I live on one something Orchard Street, like there. I don't even know what that neighborhood up there is. So okay, you can go.
That was it?
And I left.
You walked
And I
out
walked
with the
out of
donut.
there with the gun, the dome. Dude, I was paranoid. I said, the fucking sugar is gonna wet the bag, and that gun is
Show.
gonna go through, and I'm gonna get shot here. I was scared that day.
God.
Yeah. It wasn't like the other time I got arrested on 14th Street with the 25 over here in the coat pocket. That was a different story.
Jesus.
I've gone through hell and back, and I'm still here.
Yeah.
I'm going to push Willie to tell more stories because they're always good. Thank you for watching. See you next week.